Hello, welcome to Lion'sLair 2009. Back again after last year's mauling. Today we've got 11 fresh ideas on the menu for our hungry and sometimes brutal lions.
After a long and distinguished career in the health service, Jill Morgan is now Permanent Secretary for the Welsh Assembly. She brings the same ambition and enthusiasm to Wales as she did to patient care. Robin Tighe is at the top of one of the largest professional services firms in the world, Ernst & Young. His business brain informs global enterprise and some of the most challenging governmental programmes. Helen Ghosh is Permanent Secretary at DEFRA. Her exceptionally strong policy reputation is matched with a no-nonsense track record of driving improvement and effectiveness. Lynn Homer is the Chief Executive of the UK Borders Agency. She's known for nurturing staff and instilling a can-do culture. She was named Public Servant of the Year for her leadership ability. Peter Jones is not only a famous TV dragon and highly successful entrepreneur, he's also the founder of a National Enterprise Academy and joins us for the second year in the lair.
You're missing something.
If you'd come into Dragon's Den and pitch this idea, I'd think you're an absolute bloody lunatic.
So who's going to get chewed and who's going to turn our lions into tame pussycats? Let's find out.
Alan Krikorian, from the Department for Children, Schools and Families, wants to embed touch typing as a core skill across the whole civil service.
I must say, as a woman, when I heard what you said, I thought I'm being dragged back to the typing pool. So my emotional reaction to this was no.
We've actually got far too many people to change, and I've got other things I'd rather than be changing.
Yes. Economist Vincent Ossilou wants to incentivise by returning budget savings back to individuals or departments.
I'm a bit worried about this thing about incentives. It sounds a bit like bribing people to think of a way of doing their job better.
Whether incentivising individuals sorts out a system problem, I'm not convinced and I'm not in.
It's Neil Point for our ideas champions so far.
It's a missed opportunity, and I don't actually agree with the opinions of the Lions.
They're nice, but of course they are a bit tough.
Can Rose Atkinson of the Cabinet Office turn the tide of opinion with her idea, CabArt?
CabArt is a simple idea requiring a very small amount of funding, and its aim is to demonstrate pride in our staff and their talents, recognise that the department values the whole person and not just who we are at work. We do this by displaying artwork around our buildings which have been created by our own staff. The department is seen to be a caring department, confidence is boosted, and the pride of seeing their own work exhibited is exhilarating.
I'm in a department and everybody else is getting a lot of recognition because their art is the favourites of the month. I'd feel really left out of the team and not in that in crowd, so I would say, controversially, that you'll alienate people.
I don't agree with you.
Why don't you?
Art has a regular place in all of our buildings.
I'm agreeing that art's fantastic, it's brilliant. What I'm saying is the way that your pitch came across was you were selling it on the basis of a team-building, motivational situation. I think that's demotivational for somebody that literally has got the skills of a nit when it comes to painting a picture.
That's you, presumably.
That's me.
That's
okay.
You. Yeah.
With Rose painted into a corner by Peter Jones, it's up to Dame Jill Morgan to step in.
One of the things I'm interested in Wales is how do I build into the organisation a sense of belonging to the organisation, and I'd really like you to come and help us do this in Wales because I commission you to come and do some work with us.
Very happy to do that.
Robin Tighe also is an art lover.
In Ernst & Young, we have a great passion for modern art. All of our meeting rooms throughout our entire building all have art pieces in them. We put a lot of time into that. We think it makes a big difference in the workplace. So I think it's a terrific idea.
Slightly with Peter in thinking, if we just say, you know, if you're arty and good at your job, you're even better, it leaves quite a lot of people out.
I'll put my name to it, and in the health service, places with good and effective art, patients get better quicker. This is something bigger as an idea than just to do with a few paintings commissioned from staff.
I'm in, but I hope there's not much work to do on it.
I'm in. I'm as a third supporter, I think. Terrific idea.
I'm looking for something that is going to make a big difference to the civil service. So things like last year's civil pages. For me, hanging a picture on a wall ain't it.
Did they go for it or not?
I got 3 definites and one that I'm not sure whether she was a she was in or not. So 3.5, 4, I'm not sure.
You can appreciate art if you're not an artist.
It's not the appreciating of it, it's that only some can contribute.
I don't agree with Peter because I think this could be a big idea.
Rose divides the lions and retreats intact. But how will communications manager Chris Foster fare with his idea to put parliamentary questions online?
The main attributes of PQ Online would be pre-populated templates and functions, which allow for a secure audit trail. It would have direct links to .online, ParliNet and Hansard. It would have a tracking system, so you would identify who at any stage in the process is the owner of that PQ and at what stage they're at. But I think it needs to be implemented as soon as possible, and I would appreciate your support.
Is it mostly about saving money, or is it about better quality answers? Or do you think it can do both?
I think you can do both.
I like the idea of joining up questions that were all asked. I'm much less keen on the idea of changing all our other systems for the questions that are just for us.
Peter Jones has been thinking it over and points Chris in the direction of a bigger idea.
If you came and said, look, I've got an idea to give MPs more knowledge or give them an understanding of what's going on, and I'm going to set up civilgoogle.com, kind of get it.
Yeah.
But you didn't say that.
In the germ of what Chris presented to us was the idea of reusability. We've added something to that, which is don't wait, in a way, to be asked the question, you know, kind of have frequently asked questions up there.
The mood of the moment is more transparency around Parliament. So on that basis, I'm in and I'm happy to help you to develop a concept.
I like it only if we can incorporate Ask Civil or Ask Service as a search engine in the existing Civil Service Central website.
Okay.
Call it Ask Gus.
I do work in comms and I do deal with PQs, so you know, it is something that you pick up in your day-to-day job.
Chris comes with one idea and goes away with a better one. With our Lions in such a generous mood, how can Graham Clark, the Defence Science and Technology Laboratory, fail to win support for his Ideas Forum?
By gathering together a blend of staff, biologists, chemists, physicists, in a room to tackle some of our customers' most important problems, we could create an environment that was both innovating and could be innovative. What does it cost? Well, probably not as much as you think.
Is your idea basically to get people together to share ideas?
And generate them, yeah.
What's the product? Does it cost anything at all? I don't understand what I'm buying.
To pay
What
for
are
the
you
coffee and
selling
the
us?
biscuits.
I can't quite see why you need an ideas forum as opposed to just a more open-minded attitude to where solutions can come from.
You're missing something. This isn't a debate about whether this is a good idea in DSTL. This is a debate about whether this should be rolled out.
But I'm looking for evidence. But I'm looking for evidence to support that. So give us one of the good ideas.
Well, what are you rolling out? This is something that I think happens most days. You will find, actually, this is not an innovative, new, outstanding idea.
I think it's a great idea in DSTL. It's obviously working really well. I don't see it rolling out.
I don't think we missed anything there, though, did we?
What we're looking for is things which we can roll out are new, innovative and the norm. This isn't new and innovative.
Wake up and smell the coffee.
I think that's harsh.
An ideas forum.
The claws are out and the teeth are showing. To survive the lair, Leslie Glenn and Derek Myatt will have to make a quick impression.
We're here today to talk about the system that we have developed for the recycling of stationery at DE Sutton Coldfield.
Spare stationery at Defence Estates isn't thrown away, it's put on an internet notice board and offered to other people.
I knew a little bit about the website, so together we came up with the idea of the notice board.
And is it saving money as well? Have you seen the costs go down?
Well, over 12 months we saved £2,000 just on one site.
I've got to ask why we've over-ordered the wrong things in the first place, and there's no one controlling the purchasing in the organisation. Anybody can buy anything they want.
I don't think you can condemn somebody for over-ordering an extra toner and a few reams of paper and a couple of pens. As a concept, I really, really like it.
It's a breakthrough in the lair, with Leslie and Derek's idea finding favour.
The civil service has a major issue, and the major issue necessarily isn't the people. It isn't really necessarily the infrastructure. What it is a portal centrally across the whole group that's very, very disparate. And it's, for me, I think these sort of concepts could be quite groundbreaking. I'll set up a company, I'll pay for that company, and I'll take all of your surplus product across the whole of the civil service.
Civil service surplus store,
Yeah.
run by P. Jones. Is that it?
Yeah, I like that head actually. Civilsurplus.com.
Yes.
I think the idea, Peter, was not for you to make money out of this.
You can't complicate this too much.
I agree. Keep it simple. But I'm with this. I think it's a great idea. You're right, there's definitely a business in
And
that.
it was called the Army Surplus.
As Peter Jones stocks up on toner and paper, some of our ideas champions find time to reflect.
I would say there's a few tune marks about my person at the moment.
I was going down the stairs, my knees started trembling.
Who was the worst?
Peter was pretty grim.
Harvey Leonard of the Government Car and Dispatch Agency descends into the arena with an idea to save the world. His emission mission is a web-based ready reckoner that calculates your personal daily carbon footprint.
People can actually quantify the savings that they're making, see those savings accumulate, something that they can visualise. You have Weight Watchers that have monthly sort of weigh-ins. Why don't we have a monthly weigh-in? It's a carbon-controlled diet. You'll have all your totals that have added up over the week or the month or whatever it is.
I think a personal scorecard makes people feel there's something they personally can do.
Exactly.
And that's why I like the idea.
Helen is quick to pounce, then turns her attention to fellow lion Robin Tighe.
Doesn't Ernst & Young have a system which clocks up your carbon emissions by travel? DEFRA has one of those, so someone in your system should know.
Not by
how
person.
Are you going to give me something new that I don't know about to do, or are you just going to help me record the things I know?
But the beauty of it is that because it's a collaborative thing, that people will help
People
each
tell
other.
each other, okay.
And they can have those ideas.
Have you looked at, if you were going to do this in a systematic way as an individual, how much time per day it would take me to engage with that?
It's as much as, or as little as you want.
I think mission's a great phrase. I think the concept, though, I'm on balance out, feels too much like an overhead with too little benefit for me.
Robin Tighe remains unimpressed, and so apparently does Peter Jones.
This is not and shouldn't be the focus of everybody within the public sector. This should be taken as read that this is part of every piece of their daily lives. But I think that this as a concept, as a ring fence for a brand that could send a very different message but with the same meaning, I think could be legendary.
I'm in if it's a quick check that I can go and find out what sort of person I am. I'm not in if it's a day-to-day, repeatedly feeding it in.
It's just another thing that actually diverts attention away from what the real focus should be.
Hang on, the real focus of government, one of the things is the real focus of government is saving the planet.
This is not going to save the planet.
Luckily, our Lion's prayers to save the world from disaster may about to be answered in the form of mild-mannered Tony Duffy from HMRC.
My idea involves designing a mascot, a superhero, someone that we should all aspire to. So without further ado, let me present to you the creation of what I see our mascot being. Our hero has, although it's big blue boots, they're fantastic, it's the boots of firm understanding. We also have the gauntlets of correction. These mighty gauntlets are the key to the ability to navigate our way through our guidance, policy, procedures. We then move on to the helmet of awareness. Again, a very, very important part of the uniform.
Tony?
Yes.
I love Batman and...
We can just imagine.
You can imagine me.
I
mean, there have been occasions known where I have put that suit on and looked in the mirror.
I think we're all too good in the civil service at talking about things in words. You know, we've got our civil service code and our values and all those sorts of things. That brings it to life.
If you come into Dragon's Den and pitch this idea, I'd think you're an absolute bloody lunatic. But because you've pitched it in the forum of what this is all about, this forum is about finding ways to enhance and make the civil service better. And anything like this that has a sort of a meaning and could work.
Tony's idea may be left field, but it has the Lions interested and wanting more.
I'm not convinced about the superhero necessarily, but your meaning and message of what you're trying to do, I actually quite like.
Do you see this as an idea that every department goes away and develops their own?
It would be good to have people sitting around in a forum and actually discussing how they see the superhero or the design or the actual costume and adorning that costume.
Tony, I'm going to tell you exactly where I am straight away. I'm in, and I'll tell you why I'm in. I'd even love to sponsor it on the basis of the fact that I'd like to see Sir Gus at the next Civil Service Live dress up in a superhero's outfit.
Is this an icon that's us, or is it an icon which is actually transferable to a broader, more diverse, and I hate to say, people around the table, younger generation?
And I kind of want everyone to be a superhero now, to be able to see themselves. Now, if you did that, you can deal with the fact some are young, some are old, some are women, some are black.
If you were a superhero, what would you be? Let me close my eyes and imagine.
I'm Mrs. Incredible, aren't I? Getting into the tights again when they're a bit too tight. But I still want to save the world, and I think that's what civil servants do. They want to save the world.
What would you be, Helen?
I think I'm very much with Lynn, something that covered up quite a lot.
I'm in.
Yep, and I'm in too.
We'd all vote for this if it gets Gus in a costume at Civil Service Live. It's a communication tool that to get people thinking about culture.
I think Gus dressing up, I think abseiling him from the roof or something, I think that's what we need.
I do, I think it's good. I'm still trying to get Helen to give us an answer. What would you look like? Would you wear a mask? What sort of outfit would you wear?
Oh, I'd be Catwoman. Actually, I'd be Catwoman.
As part of their ceaseless quest for a civil super service, the Lions are about to meet two heroes from Companies House.
I'm Tom Smith. I'm the Director of Operations and Customer Service. Ryan Davis is one of my operational team leaders, team of 12 people. Basically, over the past couple of years, we've transformed our main operational processes. We've done it by borrowing some techniques basically from manufacturing, from world-class manufacturing. The results have been absolutely brilliant. Productivity's gone way up. It used to take us 10 days to get a piece of paper from receipt to being on the register. It now takes us 2 to 3. Staff morale has gone through the roof. It's been absolutely brilliant. It's about...
I heard this great thing about you've got a great idea, you've made a major difference, staff morale's gone up, but I haven't got a clue what it is.
The idea was that we brought staff together, working across their teams.
What your idea today is actually to meet people within your team?
The process that we kicked off is this thing called Masterclass. Instead of just saying, guys, go on, come forward with the ideas, we actually set a framework which allows these ideas to flourish.
This sounds suspiciously like the Ideas Forum that was shredded by the Lions earlier. Helen Ghost steps in to save them.
What I think I'm hearing is something that looks like lean management techniques.
In a nutshell, staff implement their own ideas. So that's what it is in a nutshell. Staff on the ground level get the opportunity to implement their own suggestions.
So what's the difference between me coming up with an idea, going to my middle management and asking him whether he thinks it's a good idea?
Because what's always happened in the past is that it just gets trapped in the bureaucracy.
Has this kind of given you all confidence to do something different?
Ideas generate more ideas, and like you said, it comes down to a confidence thing. And then if a colleague come up with an idea and then it was implemented across the organisation, so staff feel more encouraged to work better, higher morale if they're making the suggestions, not being told what to do.
I tell you what, I can't believe we're having this conversation, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm actually sad that I'm having a conversation about the civil service finding better ways to communicate openly with their staff, to inform their staff of what their job function is, to be inspired to make a difference, to be passionate about changing things.
What you've had to do, and it's our fault at the top of the civil service, you've had to think of all that for yourselves and find your system. I'm really up for this. I'm up for using you as one of the champions for how we get that really industrialised across the civil service.
Your presentation piece, the both of you, I thought you represented the civil service really, really well. I'm out, and I'm going to say I'm out on the basis of more about disappointment. If this is not occurring across the civil service, then I think some backsides need kicking fast.
I'm with you, Peter. Coming in to the from the NHS and from other type of businesses, I find where we are as a civil service really worrying.
I'm definitely in for this. I think a key opportunity if we can work with you to work out how to make this normal practice in the civil service. Will pay huge dividends.
Surprisingly, the tables have been turned, and it's our civil service lions who feel the heat of the lair.
There's lots going on. We shouldn't beat ourselves up.
No, well, I think we should, actually. I really think we should.
You need to find more Toms across the civil service,
Well,
not
that's
necessarily
absolutely right.
implement his idea.
That's, I think, what we've taken away.
Go round and force the implementation of those things, and Tom becomes the new Alan Sugar. People that aren't doing it, go.
So your idea is actually ask the staff how the job could be done better. Well, in essence, yeah.
So you've got the backing of most of them, so it should go through in some form.
I think I did. I'm not sure.
They thought it was fantastic. I believe there's talk of creating a Sir Gus O'Donnell doll with buttons that you can press to motivate you.
We've all got our staff suggestion schemes, but many of them produce bugger all.
Good afternoon. I'm Anne Hall, I work at the Cabinet Office, and I have an idea which will revolutionise the way we deliver learning and development within the civil service.
Will Anne's idea get pulses racing, or will it send the lions to sleep? Remember, a catchy title is always a good start.
Let's call it Compare the Training. It's a web-based cross-government learning and development hub with a training comparison tool at its heart. What I want to do is suggest that we build a single marketplace for internal and external training providers. A way of searching and sorting the information so that it was easily searchable and comparable. And we would make available a means of people reviewing and rating the training that they go on so that we can help other people understand whether there was quality in that course, whether it delivered the right kind of objectives that they were looking for. I think that we can also find ways of monetising this so that we can start to invite training providers to list their ideas. They can advertise, possibly. They perhaps can sponsor pages. I think there's a real opportunity here with internal providers. There are many, many people working in learning and development within the civil service, but they tend to work within their own department. They develop training for their own department, and yet a lot of the training needs are quite similar. So I think we could use this space to allow internal providers to say, well, actually, I've got some spaces on my course. Yes, I'm going to use it for my own department, but there are some spaces free.
Anne's pitch is long, but crucially, it's on message and seems to be holding the lions' attention.
Can we build it? And I think you know the answer, which is yes, we can. I talked to Andrew Stott, who's the Director of Digital Engagement for Government. He was one of the key players who set up Civil Pages, which was an idea that came out of Lion'sLair last year. I was very delighted when he said he thought this was a really great idea, rich in benefits. I think if you're serious about innovation, we really need to find a way of reducing costs. And I think if you want to do that, compare the training.
Anne's pitch was long, but her preparation and research are about to pay off.
One thing that really has impressed me, you are the only person today to have taken time to have done proper research, spoken to the right people yourself. You almost don't need Lions to make this happen. You're going to make it happen yourself. I would like to say congratulations to you, because it's a bit of a breath of fresh air to meet somebody that has wanted to make a difference, found out how to make a difference, gone about making a difference and taking action. Well done. Fantastic.
This is a way we can share our experiences and get better value for money and increase the skills of our workforce. I think it's fabulous.
You had feedback as core as part of what you've just said. This is a little uncivil service-like,
yes,
to allow such feedback to be published, to be visible. So you're buying into that, Helen. That's terrific.
I'm buying into that. I think we want to develop a better culture of saying what we mean.
I think this is really great. I think it's got real opportunities to do imaginative things, take some costs out, and actually get people on courses that really matter to them. Thank you and well done.
I'm not so sure about the name that you've given this, and I'd like that to be thrown into the hat, that some consideration should be given.
That it's like Money Supermarket, Compare the Market, but
yes,
there are options.
I think that's really good.
Listen, if you've got a moneysupermarket.com for the civil service, I think you're onto an absolute winner. It's a definite yes from me. I'm in.
I'm amazed. Thank you very much.
Anne has the best results so far. But which of the Lions will be taking this tasty idea home with them?
So I thought it was a terrific idea, but I'm not sure about the national school. I think we need some independence here.
It does need a sponsor though, and the reason why I'm going to take it on because I want to make sure it's done. So it's mine. You're not having it.
Good afternoon. My name's Paul David. I'm an assistant director in the UK Border Agency, and this is my colleague.
I'm Ravi Chand. I head up the Equality and Diversity Directorate at the Home Office.
Paul and Ravi aren't leaving anything to chance. They've prepared a polished video presentation to accompany their pitch.
We recognise we're not employing very many young people. Actually, the trend has been that we're employing less 16 to 24-year-olds than ever before. We also recognise there are some groups that are the most disadvantaged. So we want to focus on how we can target them.
Suits, ties. Boring.
Boring middle-aged people in ties.
But the big idea that we're suggesting is that we have an engagement program with 14 to 19-year-olds in schools and link it as part of the citizenship agenda. Get a team of civil servants together and to work with teachers and to look at perhaps one of the things is like to have a home office champion within schools, a person who can look at championing the cause of the civil service as such.
We know we've got opportunities. We know there are young people out there who need jobs.
You know, we feel we can with your support and with your backing. Thank you.
It's a brave pair who call the Lions boring. Slick presentation or not, Ravi and Paul can't quite be sure of the reaction.
And obviously listening to that about being old and boring and then looking to my right, I kind of relate to some perhaps where the kids are coming from. But
it's only because he hasn't got a mirror.
Yes.
Reaching out is really what your message is. I think that you couldn't have picked two better words. Let's wise up. Let's get these kids involved. Let's employ a younger creed to replace the oldies here. And I'm in.
It's a great start, and it looks like their gamble to make a video presentation is about to pay off.
Those words were sharp and they were painful because they were true. I'm in. I mean, I just know what the network does anyway, and your track record gives me total confidence you can deliver this.
What actually is the measure of success here?
The big success factor here is, are we getting the end goal? Are we reducing the gap?
That's the measure then. That's the measure. More children from these backgrounds into our jobs.
I read in your notes that part of your thinking was to draw people in and do some work shadowing and try and give them that exposure. I think that makes a huge difference. So that's a key part of what you're doing.
I would call this actually break in. It's got an edge to it. I think Helen should champion it. Because Helen is the one that clearly is, when you get to know her, not boring. Because I think people would want and respond to her well.
I'm honoured that you should think that. I would be delighted to champion it. So I'm definitely in on that basis.
Well done.
And I'm only 21, you know that.
Congratulations, you've got all 5 Lions saying yes, and there's only 2 of you today that's done that, and you're one of them, so well done.
It's been a gruelling day in the lair, with some heavy testing of ideas and innovation that saw sparkling success.
They were just all talking between themselves, saying yes, yes, yes.
You were expecting the word.
It was lovely, actually.
And catastrophic failure.
I feel like I've gone back to the 1800s, or the start of the civil service.
So some fur was flying, some claws were shown, and there was some snarling of teeth, but overall our candidates did very, very well. In fact, 2 sets got the backing of all 5 Lions, so perhaps you'll see their ideas coming to an office somewhere near you very soon. Until the next time, goodbye.
I think in the morning we got quite a lot of ideas.
It really does give you an insight into some of the barriers in the civil service.
More small-scale trials after more proper research.
Personally, I think 1 or 2 of them, they've gone up a level for one main reason for me, and that is the level of research and the background that they've done.
The message is that we don't do enough to join up the various bits of innovation that are going on across the civil service, the public sector.
Good grief, civil service moving forward, what a thought. So do you lot really like to chat, don't you?
I thought we had to
really
chat.
like to chat.